let's get started. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I got a call from Vijay yesterday. As you know, one of his priorities is looking after his father, who's not in great health. So he had to actually, he was in the hospital yesterday, and so that's why he told me well in advance that he wouldn't be able to make it tonight. So he sends his regrets. He misses you guys, but obviously you have to take care of your parents. So he's doing a good job of that. So a few things to do tonight, and I'll tell you overview for tonight. We'll continue our conversation about Khalsa Sajna Divas and the Khalsa, the idea of the Khalsa, what was the reason for it, and why it's important. And then we can talk about current events. There's some sad things that happened, I'm sure you're aware. And then there are a lot of announcements to share with you about things coming up. So sari cheezein karke, and then we'll do, of course, end with our Simran. And I have a new punkti for you that we can think about while we're doing Simran. So, what can we start with? Yeah, so we were talking about the month of April being important because of, what was it? Let me see. I know we covered this, but I want to see what you guys remember. Why is this? What's the significance of this month? What do we? People always ask in other communities, do you have important days that you celebrate? So we have one, right? We have many, but we have one in April. What's that one called? Does anyone know? Want to try? No? Give it a shot. Okay, that's a good way to explain it to your English friends, right? Or non-Punjabi friends, that's true. Birth of the Khalsa, you can say Khalsa Day. And in the Gurdwaras, what term do we use? Okay, so I heard Vaisakhi, not wrong, but you're going to get more points if you get the full one. Yeah. Yeah. Khalsa Sajna Divas, that's right, yeah. So that literally means the creation of the Khalsa, right? Or the revelation, right? Because Khalsa was revealed to the world by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And so we call it, in English, you can say Khalsa Day, or birth of the Khalsa, and in Punjabi we say Khalsa Sajna Divas. The occasion for it was Vaisakhi. That's why we always say Happy Vaisakhi. But I went to Wikipedia and I looked up Vaisakhi, and a lot of other people celebrate it too, not just us. So it's been going on for a long time. Vaisakhi de bahut purani cheez hai. All over India, different groups, different ethnicities, different communities celebrated, different, like Hindus celebrated as well. So they have a different meaning for it. But because of what happened in what year? Does anyone know? Yes? You guys tricked me. You go like that and you go like that. What does that mean? That you had the answer and then it disappeared? 1699, that's right. Guys, these are some important dates to know. No one forgets their birth year, do you? Do you guys all know what year you were born? No? Well, then start with that. Learn your own year of birth. Your parents probably don't want you to know what year they were born, but you should know their anniversary year. That's a good one to know too. Their day and the year their anniversary, so that you know when they're celebrating their 20th or their 25th, right? And you guys can plan and celebrate and make them feel good about being such a successful team and doing a good job in raising you. And other years that are important, the beginning of Sikhi with the birth, the Prakash of Guru Nanak. What year is that? That's a good one. Important one to know. If you're asking the beginning of Sikhi, where Sikhi began, that's generally what we tell people. 1469, right? With the birth of Guru Nanak. And I know technically he didn't start doing prachar until later in his life, but we use that date as the beginning of Sikhi. And hand in hand with that, then we have 1604, Pehla Prakash, Guru Granth Sahib Ji da. And then we have 1699, which was, of course, the Khalsa, and 1708, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji left the world and he gave Gurgadi formally to Guru Granth Sahib. So these dates are important to know, right? And so we were talking about it. We talked about the 5Ks. What are those, by the way? Let's review here. Let's see. Who remembers? Tell me one of the Ks and what you remember about the significance of it. Okay? We've got to make it a little bit harder. Last time I talked to you was enough just to know which K, but now tell me a little bit about it, because each of them have an important meaning behind it, each one of them. Yes?
Gada and that represent like Sikhi and like courage and stuff.
Okay, yes. So the Gada is a handy reminder, literally handy, right? Handy means it's close to us, and you can say it's literally handy because we wear it on our hand, right on our wrist. It's right beside our hand. So Kara is a reminder of the fact that Guru is with us, and if Guru is with you, then God is with you, right? So God is with you, God is protecting you, and God is also, what else? He's watching us, right? So that means that aaj jehde hath ne, we should be very careful how we use them. Use them for good things. Use them for things that God would be happy with us using them for, right? For example, to work hard, to do seva, to do path, to do kirtan. That's what these hands are for. These hands are not for hurting others, right? They're for protecting others. Sometimes that's necessary. In order to protect someone, you have to sometimes take a stand. But remember, right? Without a reason, especially like I said, it's one thing. If you have to hurt somebody who's hurting someone else, that's different because you're doing it to protect someone else. But if you, for no reason, use these hands to steal, to to do anything hurtful, then the kara doesn't have any meaning, right? We should have it should connect us to the Guru, right? The same way, that's why a lot of people. It reminds them of the things that we shouldn't put in the bad things that we shouldn't put in our body, like intoxicants, right? Tobacco, cigarettes, sharab, those things. That's not what you want to use your hands for, right? Why use these hands to destroy this body, right, or damage this body? So that's kara. Circle, simple, beautiful, and perfect, right? It's a simple shape, but it's perfect. No beginning and no end. You know also has no beginning and no end? The divine, right? The one who created us. Paramatma also has no beginning and no end. And when we see a circle, it reminds us of that. And we have so many visual representations of the circle. We have the chakra, right? Which is another one of the things you see people wearing in the star or the mala sometimes. It was used to throw from a distance in battle. It was also used to protect the head. And you also see a circle in the khanda as well in our symbol. So the circle is very important to us. And we wear a circle on our wrist to remind us of God, okay? And Guru. What else? All right, you're in a talkative mood. You tell me one of the other five.
Kirpan.
Okay, good. Kirpan. Literally means kirpa and an. Two words together. Kirpa means mercy, an means honor. So that is what the kirpan represents. It represents mercy in the sense that it should be used to protect others, right? And it represents honor because you use it to protect yourself too. You should feel, any type of shastra at that time, in many places in the world, it was a right reserved for royalty. Only people who are noble. You know noble? That means considered higher. So Guru Sahib said, all these beautiful people, people who are connected with Waheguru, who do seva, this is a true royalty in the world. You should feel like kings and queens. Not to look down on others, but you should feel very graceful. You should feel that you've been honored by Waheguru. क्योंकि सब तो बड़ी चीज़ है परमात्मा ਨੂੰ याद करना सेवा सिमरन है ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ कह लो कि those people we should regard higher, right? Not that we should regard anyone lower, but we should have even more respect for people who are using their life for the correct purpose, for the right purpose, which is seva and simran, right? So the kirpan is defense, protection, last resort, right? Never to be used just because you get angry, and it's only to be used to protect yourself or somebody else. And it's, if we don't use it, hopefully we never have to. But if we do, then, if, for example, we live in a great country in Canada, we don't worry about our safety. But the police is not with us 24/7. So we should never be in a situation where somebody attacks us and we are defenseless or helpless, right? A Sikh is never helpless, right? The Guru gave us strength, so we should never be in a situation where we can't defend ourselves. So Always be prepared in case something happens, even if it's not likely. And if we don't use it, then it's a reminder that a Sikh should always stand up against injustice. We should always stand up for what's right, right? And we see so many examples of that in our history, right? Again and again, where Sikhs have been peaceful warriors. You know what that means? You don't go looking for a fight, but if there is a fight that needs to be fought, then we show courage, we show willingness to sacrifice our life to fight for a greater cause, right? For protection of others, to defend freedom. That's what we fight for justice. Another one? Kara, Kirpan. Ganga, good. We use it practically to what? To keep what clean? Yes. Your hair, that's right. And don't think it's like any other comb. It is completely unique. Because most people, the comb they use is made of plastic. Plastic creates a static charge. Those people who use a bamboo comb, they'll tell you, your scalp is a lot healthier if you use natural fibers. So Gurus gave us this wooden comb. It keeps our hair clean, it keeps our scalp healthy, and it reminds us, when we comb our hair, the way we comb our hair, we should comb our mind of negative thoughts, right? So everything has a practical meaning and a symbolic meaning. So it's a nice reminder. I always think of that. Right? Not only are we cleaning the outside, we should also clean the inside. And we do that with Naam, with Sangat, right? Good? Gada, Kirpan, Ganga? Kashara, yes. So that is our undergarment, you could say, our base layer. And it's very practical. Because if you're wearing it, you know, normally people, if they're in their underwear, they don't feel they're properly dressed, but because our underwear comes down to our knees, if we have to, we can, you know, even walk around like that. It's like wearing boxers or shorts, right? And so for that reason, we're never, you know, in a situation where we're not properly dressed, right? And we always have it, we're always ready, and if something happens, we're always dressed, right? At least with a bare minimum, with our undergarment. And it also reminds us that we should have self-control. As human beings, we're not like just any other animal. We should have control of our passions and our desires. So that's why we have that. Vishara, and the last one, Case, yes, goes hand in hand with Kanga, right? And as I mentioned to you, many people believe that along with Case, in fact, they say Case comes in the Bajrakrats. I'm going to tell you both perspectives. So the Panthic perspective is Case as a kakar, and then you have a group that believes that case, of course, they're not saying it's not important, but they're saying it comes in the 4 things that you absolutely can't do, right? One of the things you can't do is cut your hair. So they say in addition to case, you should also have your head covered. And so they say that an article that keeps your head covered, a mini turban you can say, is called a case key. So that also starts with a K, which is helpful. And I understand what their thinking is, because really, not only do we not cut our hair, but we should take care of it. And the Keski and the Ganga help us take care of our hair. It helps keep it clean. Right? So that's our uniform. We also have a certain way of life, and who knows some of the qualities of a Khalsa? What are some things you think of when I say Khalsa? What should that person be like? And we always pick the bad examples, right? He was like this, he had a big long dadi, but he was, whatever, he was swearing or something, or he was being mean, right? Let's think of the good examples, because there are lots of good examples too. When you think of a Khalsa, how should they be? What other characteristics? At the back? Huh? Brave, absolutely, right? Where was the Khalsa born from? The concept of being willing to lay your life on the line. That's where we began, right? When Guru is saying, I want a head, what's he asking for? He's asking you to be willing to sacrifice your life where necessary. Good. Courage, definitely. Yes. Humility, very important. And this is sometimes where we get confused. I'll be honest with you, okay, guys? Because being a Khalsa is something to be you should feel good about it. But there's some, I'm not saying all, but many people, once they take Amrit, they start feeling better than others, okay? This is completely, it goes against the purpose. The purpose of Amrit is to become a humble person. If you start feeling that you are better than others, then you're missing the point, okay? So you're right, absolutely. Nimarta honi chahiye, right? You can say Nimanta, Gripi, whatever you want to call it. But a Khalsa, even though he or she is strong, they carry themselves like the dust of the feet of saints, right? We say that we should consider ourselves the dust of the feet of other people, meaning that we should pyar naal bolna chahiye, mitha bolna chahiye. When we interact with others, they should feel that this is a very humble person. Good, yeah. And humility is an antidote for a lot of problems. For example, krodh. Jehda banda nimrata ode ch hai na, then that person tends not to get angry, right? When they're more humble, because being humble is the opposite of being angry or having krodh, right? Good. Yes.
Being kind.
Kind, right? That was the name of one of the Panch Pyare, Bhai Daya Singh. Daya means compassion, means kindness. That is an essential characteristic of a Khalsa, whether it's being kind to people who need our help, protecting people, being kind to your parents, being kind to your friends, being kind to strangers. A Khalsa is always kind. Yes. So another hand up here. Oh, he's not paying attention. Yeah. Yep, that was covered. Pay attention. Yep. Pure, yes. Khalsa, one of the definitions of Khalsa is, of course, pure. I told you another one that I've heard is sovereign. Sovereign means that person who is independent, who is not a slave, right? Sovereign means we believe that we are only slaves of Waheguru and we will not be enslaved by anybody, right? We are free, we're independent. So pure is another definition for sure. Can we be 100% pure? Maybe not. Only God is 100% pure. But we should strive to live a life of purity. Purity in our actions, purity in our words, purity in our thoughts, right? That means do things that our actions should be soft, clean, right? Yeah. Empathetic. That's another word for compassion, right? Or kind. Very good, yes. Some other parts of the routine I want to share with you guys. The Khalsa way of life, which you can call the Sikh way of life. One is to be an early riser, okay? And this doesn't generally come naturally to human beings. There are probably 1 out of 20 or maybe 50 people who naturally are early risers. Anybody here an early riser? No? Early riser is someone who wakes up very easily in the morning without any difficulty, who loves morning. You know, morning person? Have you heard of a morning person, right? Someone who loves mornings, right? Most people are clinging to their sarana, right? And their chadar or their kambal, and they don't want to get out of bed. But a Khalsa, if you're naturally a morning person, great. If you're not, you need to convert yourself. Because part of being a Khalsa is loving mornings. That is the most beautiful and the best time to connect with God. You set the tone for your day in the morning. If you think of God during the day, and the first thing in the morning, then chances are you will think of God during the day. If you don't think of Waheguru in the morning, the whole day will go by and you won't think of God, which is a waste, right? So we shouldn't even let one breath go by. And if you want to give yourself a good start to the day, those are the things I suggest to you. Shower, take a bath, your mind is fresh, your body's fresh. If it's cold, it'll help you wake up. I know that's hard to get used to, but generally that's what people recommend. It's better for your skin, it's better for your blood, your circulation of your body, and it wakes you up. Then meditation, some form of meditation. You can do Mool Mantra of the job, you can do Gurmat of the job. What it does is it takes our racing mind and it helps make our mind steady. We focus on what's really important, and our mind, we keep bringing our mind back to Waheguru, to God, again and again. Whether you do 15 minutes or half an hour, you know you're doing it right when it feels like you did 5 minutes and it was actually half an hour, right? That's when you lose track of time, that's when you're actually in the zone doing meditation. As long as we're looking at our kadi and saying, oh man, how long has it been? Keep working at it. I'm not saying give up, but hopefully you'll get to the stage where time stands still. And that time we spend with Waheguru, that is the most precious and beautiful time, when we have that time in Amrit Vela, right, in the morning. Amrit Vela means the ambrosial hour. That means jadon sanu Amrit milta. Amrit is the experience of God. And even though our life is one form of Amrit Vela, because we can experience God in our life, there is also a time of day which we consider Amrit Vela, and that is before the sun rises, right? Before we start worrying about all our problems, before we start checking our phone, before we start checking email and things like that, that's the best time, right? That is another part of the Khalsa identity. Another one is physical fitness. Okay, guys? Another thing we've started to overlook. A Khalsa, male or female, doesn't matter, should be a peaceful warrior. But a lot of us are not in no condition to call ourselves warriors. A Khalsa should be fit, okay? And I know, obviously, not everyone is going to be of the same level, but we should be in better shape than the average human being. Why? Because we have to be prepared to do seva, we have to be prepared to help people, defend people, we have to be prepared to defend ourselves. So we have a higher standard. Guru Sahib, right? Like it's like the police. To protect and serve, that's their motto. You know, before you can become a police officer, they put you through some physical testing. You know that, right? You can't be a police officer if you don't have a basic level of fitness. We should consider the same thing to be a Khalsa. We should have good cardiovascular health, right? Our heart should be in good shape. Our muscles, you don't have to be big and strong, but you should be in good shape. You should be able to do physical activity, whether it's seva or running or walking. And of course, we have many other ways to improve our physical activity, like Gatka, right? Shastra Vidya. Guru Angad Dev Ji gave us the tradition, in fact, of even of wrestling, which there's a group that they have wrestling training at the Gurdwara called Warriors Wrestling. And they're all Sikhs and Punjabis, and so that's another part of our tradition, is to be physically fit through exercise. Okay? Our body, a Khalsa is supposed to respect and appreciate our body. In fact, love our body. How many people here say they love their body? You love your body? Can you really say that? Yeah? I only see a couple of hands. Huh? We should all love our body. You know why? It's the only one we have. Okay? So there are three aspects to loving your body. We should not become vain and obsessed with our looks. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about loving your body in terms of taking care of it. So what do we do to take care of our body? The first is, don't put anything into your body that's bad for it. Doesn't that make sense? It's common sense, right? We are the only species that knowingly consumes things that are actually destructive for our health. You know that? There's no other animal you'll find on the face of this earth that will consume poison, that will do things that are bad for its health, except human beings. We're the only ones, right? Because of our ego, right? Because we like, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂ ego ਲਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਸਵਾਦ ਲਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, right? For taste, right? So taste is good, but taste is not the main reason we eat. The main reason we eat is to fuel our body, right? To prevent ourselves from starving, to give ourselves energy. That's why we eat. The good taste is a bonus. And you can have both, okay? If you learn to cook, you can make very good, healthy food. And that's why, in fact, I gave up meat in my life, because I realized that if you do it properly, vegetarian food can be just as tasty, in fact, more tasty, right? And a lot of the things that people think make non-veg food tasty, in fact, for example, let's say butter chicken. It's not the chicken, it's the tari, right? So whatever you put in there, you can make shahi paneer, you can make whatever you want. So remember, guys, that anything that's bad for our lungs, our kidney, our liver, our brain cells, why would we put it into our body? And this is a really important message, because some of you are going to be offered things that will be really bad for you. Without a doubt, it's going to happen to you. Whether it happens in grade 4 or 5 or in middle school or in high school, people will come up to you, and you might think they're your friends. Just ask yourself one question. If this ruins my health, why would I say yes to using this? Okay? And I was at my doctor's office, and I saw a poster about the effects of cannabis. Okay? Don't think just because it's legal it's good. Especially, it's really bad for a developing brain, and a human brain keeps developing until age 25. So if you consume cannabis in high school, you're actually ruining your future. You're destroying your brain, and it's not going to be able to recover from that ever again. Okay? What it's used for, if someone has cancer, they are in extreme pain, that's a different story. But for us, God has given us health. There's no reason for us to do those things, right? So whether somebody offers you anything that they offer you, ask yourself, don't be your own worst enemy by consuming something that will ruin your body, ruin your future, right? Okay, that's all it is. Be smart, okay? The second thing is being active, very important. And there are many ways. First of all, this body, we should understand, was not made to sit at a desk all day. Unfortunately, that's what we do. Most of us do that. Whether you're in a job like me, where you work in an office, or you're sitting in a school, you're probably sitting a lot of the day, right? Our body was made to move, so we should find some time in our day where we're active. What are some ways to be active? Well, one great one is seva, right? Whenever you have an opportunity to do seva, you're helping others and you're doing something good for your body. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੰਗਰ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, right? Or any type of seva for that matter, ਜੋੜਿਆਂ ਦੀ seva, right? There's pretty much most types of seva involve physical activity, right? Especially as you can say tan di seva, right? Seva that involves the body is good for our health, right? Another thing is walking, very simple, right? God gave us legs, we should appreciate that. And there are little things we can do. When you park somewhere, including the Gurdwara, park a little bit further away. You don't have to find the absolute closest spot for the door, right? Especially when it's not raining, if the weather's nice, why not walk a couple of minutes extra? You might save some dings on your car too, right? Because sometimes we, find the tightest spot for our car, we think, oh good, I saved myself some walking. You missed a chance to do something good for your body, and you never know, someone might damage your car. So park a little bit further away when you go shopping or if you come to Gurdwara, right? If you have an opportunity, use stairs. If you're healthy, if there's nothing wrong with your body, you don't have to take the elevator, take the stairs where you can, right? Little things. Make a family tradition of going for a walk. Again, you're spending time with your family, you're doing multiple good things. One is family time, another thing is you're doing something good for your body too at the same time. You're taking care of your health. And it's sports, guys. And as you know, that's part of our tradition. One thing that Sikhs are known for, Punjabis are known for, is our love of sports, right? So I hope all of you play sports. We're not all going to become professionals, but there are so many sports that everyone can find a sport that they're passionate about. Whether it's the beautiful game, who knows what the beautiful game is? And no one knows what the nickname, that's a nickname for soccer. It's called the beautiful game. Or it's basketball, or volleyball, badminton, skating, hockey. There's a lot that you guys will get from participating in sports. You learn so many things. So I know sometimes our parents think, some parents are serious about sports, which is great. Some think, it's just a waste of time. Just go out and play with your friends on the street. But if you play organized sports, there are a lot of benefits to doing that, including your health, right? So we've got, don't put anything bad into your body, be active, and the third thing is hygiene, right? And so that's really important as well. Some people, they associate cutting of hair with hygiene, but we have a different belief. We think there's a natural system to take care of our body and be clean. And what's that? What's the natural system the body has to get rid of hair that's no longer needed? Yes?
When you comb your hair, all of the hair that comes out, that's all you do to remove.
There you go. Combing, brushing, and washing our hair. That will automatically get rid of any hair we don't need. The rest of our hair is part of the gift of this body that God has given us. So we should embrace it. We should say, I love the way you made me, God, and you decorated me, you designed me with this hair, so I'm going to take care of it. Because I didn't put it there, you put it there, right? Does that make sense? So that is, hygiene is very important. There's a saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. That means if you want to go close to God, you should believe in being clean. And I know we all have different levels. Some people are, a little messy in their personal space. But these are the basics of our faith, that we should have cleanliness in our physical area, right? In our body and where we live. And also cleanliness, eventually the goal is cleanliness of the inside. Andro bhi saaf karna. And that's what satsangat does, right? That's what kirtan does. That's what simran does. It cleans the inside. But we want both. Guru Sahib said, cleaning the body is not enough. He didn't say don't clean the body. He said that's very important. For our health, it's important to be clean, right? Shower minimum once a day. Now when it gets hot in the summer, or if you play sports, then you're probably going to do twice a day. If you work in a job where you get sweaty, then you want to probably do twice a day minimum, right? And so be clean, comb your hair, wash your hair regularly. If you do all those things, then no one should be able to have any issues about your hygiene, because hygiene is about being clean. It's not about cutting your hair, right? Because someone who doesn't cut their hair can be clean, right? If they wash their hair and bathe and do all those things. And someone who does cut their hair can be the filthiest person, right? Just cutting your hair doesn't make you clean, right? And we believe that a person should be clean on the inside and the outside, both. Does that make sense? So these are some things. Another thing I think we overlook as Khalsa is we are the defender of human rights. We believe in justice. We believe in freedom. Anywhere in the world, that people need our help, we should be there to do what we can and raise our voice. Whether it's against apartheid, which was this really terrible system of discrimination against black people, Guru Sahib expected us to be there, standing beside our black brothers and sisters to raise our voice against that. Where there's genocide going on. You know what genocide is? When one community is targeted, yeah? Yes. When you try to kill one community just because of who they are, like what the Holocaust was. Have you guys heard of the Holocaust? That's when Hitler decided to kill Jews, and not only Jews, gypsies and homosexuals, and anyone he considered that these people are no good, he said, I'm going to send them to concentration camp and just kill them as fast as I can and try to get rid of them from the face of this earth, right? So a Sikh stands up for human rights. Our own human rights, but sometimes we stand up for ourselves, which is good. If we are discriminated against in our job, then a Khalsa doesn't take that. We say no. We have a right to practice our religion, and you can't discriminate against us. But don't let it stop there, because if someone else is being discriminated against, we should make it our duty to help them. If a Muslim woman is being discriminated against because of her hijab, that should be as important to us as being discriminated against because of our turban, right? ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਰਦ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਮਾੜਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਨਾ that's what a Khalsa should feel. We should feel that pain and we should help in whatever way we can. Another thing is a Khalsa should be a guardian of the environment. We should care about the environment. Very important. And I think we don't realize this. When Guru Sahib tells us in Japji Sahib, Pavan Guru Pani Pita, Mata Tart Mahat, what he's telling us is love the land, love the air, love the earth, right? Love the water. Because all these things are gifts from Waheguru. So take care of these things. So the first thing to do is be environmentally responsible. And you know, there are two types of people in this world. There are people who make a mess, and there are people who clean up. And this is our duty and our mission. Asi gan saaf karte hain, asi khlara saaf karte hain. That's what a Khalsa. We feel very happy that other people might make a mess, whatever type of mess it is. We don't have any problem cleaning it up because we feel we are serving God by doing that. So don't hesitate to do that. Walking around the Gurdwara, it doesn't matter if there's if something's thrown on the floor, you could say, hey, I didn't do that. Or you could just pick it up. Say, who cares? I didn't throw it on the ground, but it doesn't, it should be in the garbage. So pick it up and put it in the garbage, right? And when we do these little things, we make a very good habit. We create a habit, and we start doing that outside too. Like when I go for a walk, it really bothers me if I see litter. And if it's not too dirty, right, I'll just pick it up, and wherever next trash bin I see, I'll just throw it in the garbage, right? It didn't cost me anything, and I know in these little ways we're doing something that makes Waheguru happy, right? So these are things to keep in mind, guys, that the Khalsa is a beautiful family. It's a family that's open to all. We believe in equality. We don't care about color of skin. We don't care about caste. We don't care about any of those things. All we care about is love for God. We want to have a connection to the Creator, and we want to help people. Whoever needs our help, we are ready to help whoever needs our help. It doesn't matter who they are. Isn't that a great mission to have? Right? So that's when I think of the Khalsa motto of Deg, Deg, Fateh, right? Deg is serving, right? It means, literally it means, jeda asi kehne na kettle, or jeda na asi na langar vartanya, that's Deg. Deg is sword, right? So if the Deg represents service, right? Because isn't that what langar is? Serving others, right? The Deg represents protection. We have the same motto as the police everywhere in the world, to protect and serve. That's what a Khalsa believes in. We don't say that it's only up to a police to do that. We do our best wherever we can. I know we are not police, but we should have that same sense of duty in us that we are here to protect and serve. And if we do those things, that is our victory. We consider our success in this world, in this life, by being a person who helps others, who serves others and remembers God. That is the purpose of our life. And that is the mission of the Khalsa, right? Well, another important thing, there's so many things to share. A Khalsa absolutely does not believe in any kind of, obviously, distinction between human beings, Jat Pat. We don't discriminate based on color, okay? And I know some of these things might not be practiced. We don't like people discriminating against us, but some of us in our families, you'll know that, and we all have relatives like that, right? Sometimes they're older people because, they're kind of set in their beliefs. They may not like a certain group of people. They might have a bad opinion of black people or something. Don't believe in those things because the Khalsa doesn't believe in that. Okay? A human being is a human being is a human being. That's it. Simple as that. Right? And another thing we don't believe in, that a lot of Punjabis believe in, is superstition. Okay? A Khalsa absolutely does not believe in any superstition. We don't think any days are unlucky. We don't think any numbers are unlucky. We don't think walking underneath a ladder or having a cat cross your path is unlucky. Those things don't make sense. God gave us a brain to use. We should use it. When we do something blindly, right, then God is saying, why did I give this person a brain? Right? So use this brain God has given us. Does that make sense? Okay. So these are some of the things I want to share with you. Coming to current events, just want to touch briefly on something. Does anyone know something sad that happened recently? Oh, now I see some hands up. Anyone who hasn't answered yet? Okay, go ahead. Yes, the younger one. I always pick the younger one, sorry.
People got killed in Sri Lanka.
Yes, that's right. So the place was Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka. And when did it happen? On Easter Sunday. And who is targeted? Christians, Indian Christians. That these people were so cruel that they knew on this day many more people will be at church, right? Because they're there. That is giving up on Gurmat, like our Khalsa Sajna Divas or Guru Nanak Sahib Ji da Prakash. Easter is a very important day to them. So more people were going to be there, and so they made sure to create maximum destruction of life by planning it on this day. And it's a really tragic thing, very very unfortunate thing that happened. That people think about it, how much of a low life do you have to be to kill people who are gathered to remember God? Okay? These are people who did this, who believe in God. How can you believe in God when you're killing people who are gathered to remember God? Explain me that. Right? These people, again, are not using their brain. They get brainwashed. And there are people in many different communities. Never get brainwashed. And that's what happens to these people. They start becoming intolerant. They start thinking we are the only true people. Everybody else, everybody else, they're just animals. You can kill people, it doesn't matter. Right? If you believe that, I am sure there is no place in heaven or in the next life for you. I don't care who your prophet is. I don't care who your religion is, what your religion is. Okay? What you are doing is so against anything that has to do with God that you will have no place in paradise, like these idiots believe. That we kill people and we're going to get paradise. How stupid do you have to be to believe that killing women, children who've done nothing wrong, men, seniors, will give you a better place in the afterlife? That's how messed up you have to be. And unfortunately, there are many problems facing this world, but the biggest one is hatred. And it's not one group. You have white people who hate immigrants. You have Muslims who hate non-believers. You have Hindus who hate people who are not, who don't respect their beliefs. So anywhere there's hatred, there are probably Sikhs who will have hatred too. Anywhere there's hatred, we are making this world a mess. We are making this world worse than we found it. Right? So I don't care how religious you are. Maybe you come to Gurdwara a lot, maybe you do Kirtan, maybe you do Bhai. But if you have any connection to Sikhi whatsoever, get rid of any hatred in your heart, because that is completely contradictory to the Guru's message. You shouldn't have one drop, 1 ounce of hatred in you if you consider yourself a Sikh of the Guru. Right? And if we all did this, the world would be completely different. Right? There's a motto I like to use: increase the peace. Right? What you do should increase peace in this world, not make this world worse. Right? Not make this world filled with more hatred and negativity. Right? So I feel so bad because there's an incident in somebody, people getting killed in a church in U.S. or in Sri Lanka, or people killing people in a mosque, in a synagogue. There's so many of these incidents happening lately. Almost every month something like this is happening, right? And you know what? Sometimes we feel helpless, but we shouldn't, because what little bit we can do is all God expects of us. God doesn't want us to do everything, but just because we can't do everything, it doesn't mean we can't do something. So before you go to bed, say, what did I do today to make this world a little bit better? Did I do anything? Even the slightest thing did I do? being nice to someone, doing somebody's seva, smiling at someone, right? Anything. That's what God wants us to do. Does that make sense? Right? So some announcements about what's going on in the community right now. First of all, very important announcement that, in fact, one of our families who comes to this Gurmat class, the Panji, Mandeep Panji is her name. She comes with her family. She's doing tomorrow a health seminar on the topic of food. Very important topic, isn't it? Right? Food affects all of us. So she is a registered dietitian, and she is going to talk about how we can make smarter food choices, how we can develop smart food habits so that we can improve our health. Because these things go together. What we put into our body and being physically active, they go hand in hand, right? So this is, if you want to become a healthier person, you have to take care of the exercise side, and you also have to take care of your diet, your nutrition. So what better, a person to have than someone who's an expert in food to give you some tips on how we can become healthier with our food choices. So this is taking place tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, just down the road here at Guru Nanak Sikh Center, which is also known as Gurdwara, and I'll put it in the group as well. But I think most of you know where that Gurdwara is. It's 3 p.m. in Singh Hall, and we're expecting a pretty good turnout. So I would say come a little bit early to make sure you get your spot. That hall is not as big as this one. It can fit about maybe about 200 people. So, and we have a lot of families who are going to attend that who are at that Gurdwara, who attend Akal Academy, which is our Gurmat school there. So you're welcome to attend, and you're encouraged to attend if you want to improve your health. Tomorrow evening is a closing ceremony for Sikh Heritage Night at Brampton City Hall. So I don't know how many people went to any Sikh Heritage Month events, but this is your last chance. I think there's a talk tonight too with Rupi Kaur, but we're probably going to miss that now, I don't know. I think that's 7 to 9. But tomorrow will be a very nice closing event, and you'll have snacks and food there, and there's also be performances, and also you'll learn about Sikh history and the religion as well. So it should be a nice evening. If you're looking for something to do tomorrow evening, drop by Brampton City Hall, free, okay? So those things are tomorrow. Then we have of course, the downtown Nagar Kirtan. Enjoy that. This might be the first time in history we might have snow, they're saying, so let's see how that goes. Dress warmly, okay? Guys, be prepared, because rain or shine, Khalsa, we carry our weather inside of us, okay? We don't care what the outside is like. But that doesn't mean we won't be prepared. Be smart and dress warmly, because I think it's going to be ballpark. I think high is like 9 and the low is like 1. So it'll be a bit chilly. I'm not sure if it's going to be windy. But for those of you who would like to go to that, I'm sure there are buses going from here, and every half hour or every 1 hour. So I hope you guys enjoy your whoever's going to the Nagar Kirtan. What else did I want to share? Other events? Did you get everything, Jesse?
I don't think.
Yeah, I think for this week there is more stuff coming up, but I won't confuse you. That's enough for now. The Autumn Ras Kirtan Darbar is continuing. The dates here are finished now at Dixie. I don't know how many people got a chance to attend that. And if you check the poster, you'll see that there are dates at other Gurdwaras. If you like the Kirtan, it's amazing Kirtan. People from all, Ragis, Kirtaniyas from all over the world, and they're very talented. That's still going on. And I know, as soon as I say Fateh, then I'm going to remember what I want to share with you, but that's the way it goes. So if there's anything else, I'll put it in the group. How's that? Okay? So let's do our few minutes of Simran. The Pankti I want to share with you today is a very simple one. Sometimes something simple for me, I try to put myself in the shoes of a small child. So this Pankti only has 4 words, and in the Shabad, this is the Rahawali Tok, meaning it's a very important line. It kind of gives you the central theme of this Shabad. And I'll have everyone repeat it together, and then we'll meditate on it, and I'll explain the meaning as well. And if my Sikhism Max opens up in time, I can show you. This is sometimes temperamental. If you can repeat after me. Ek simar man mahi. Ek simar man mahi. Ek simar man mahi. That's it. It's 4 words. It's a complete line. This is not half a Pankti, it's a complete Pankti. And the meaning is very important, yet simple. And what we're saying, ek, what does ek mean, or ik? In Punjabi, say ek, what is it? 1. Simar, does anyone know? Simarna, Simran karna, Yaad karna. What is it? To remember, right? So remember the one, okay? And by the way, when we say the one, usually the reference is to who? The one. Who's the one? Yes.
Waheguru.
The Almighty, right? Whatever name you want to use. The Divine, God, Waheguru, Paramatma, kuch bhi sikhiya na. But there's only one, the Supreme Being, right? Ek Simar, remember the one? Man Mahi. Man means mind, Mahi means within. So let me see if I can find it here, then you can see it on screen. Ek Simar, Man Mahi. And you can see the meaning. So it means within my mind, remember the one. Very simple but important meaning. There it is. Put it in PowerPoint. You can see that. If you understand this, you understood a big part of what Sikhi is about, because that's the message Guruji gives us again and again in Gurbani, is remember the one. Remember the one who created you. Remember the one who is timeless. Okay, again. Gotta learn these tricks here. Where is my Sikhi maps? Another thing that came to my mind, sometimes something positive comes out of a negative. This is not working. It reminded me that there's also a run coming up. It's open to everyone. It's organized by Guru Gobind Singh Children's Foundation. Every year they have a run called Inspirational Steps. And this year it's happening on May 19th. And it's going to be, depending on how long you want to run, there's a 5K option, which is starting at Malton Gurdwara, and we run all the way to here. And don't be scared, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can speed walk, you can walk, but I really like it because they're raising funds for a good cause, and we feel good about ourselves. It's something to say, right? That I participated in a 5K run or a 5K walk. They give you a t-shirt, and you have a nice memory of it, and they raise funds for a good cause. So if you're interested in this, you can Google Guru Gobind Singh Children's Foundation, Guru Gobind Singh Children's Foundation, GGSCF, and you can register. You have to register, I think, by the 30th, and if the registration is $30, and if you wait longer, then it becomes $40 after April 30th. So you can register online by PayPal. Then you pick up your kit, you get your T-shirt and you have they call it a bib with your number on it, and you're officially registered. And then you show up on the 19th, 9 o'clock at Malton, and then we all run together. Because the only thing better than exercise is when you do it together. Some people, you know why they don't start exercise? They don't have a gym buddy, right? Or an exercise buddy. So that's why I'm encouraging, there's going to be a lot of families going from Brampton, and if there's some families interested from here, that'll be nice that we can run together and do something good for our health, because we're doing training at the same time to prepare ourselves. What I'm doing, I have a 5-year-old nephew, and so my plan is to get him, he's 5 years old, to do a 5K. That would be a big accomplishment for him. So every day I have him run a little bit more. Today we did 2K, and tomorrow I'm going to take him for 2.5, then we're going to do 3. And by the time the 19th comes, he's going to be in great shape, and he's going to be able to do the 5K. And so I think that's something very worthwhile. Like I said, we should participate in sporting events. That's part of our DNA, part of that warrior spirit that we have, right? So there it is right there. Finally we got it. So let's repeat it all together, and we'll do Simran and then Samapti, and then you can do more Simran in the main hall for those of you who do that. And we'll sing it so you feel it more from your heart. You guys, first everyone sitting up nice and comfortably in a loving and attentive. You should be relaxed, but at the same time, don't slouch. Be respectful, loving attention, I call it. Ek simar man mahi, ek simar man mahi. Ek simar man mahi, ek simar man mahi. Ek simar man mahi, ek simar man mahi. please. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Ek simar man mahi. Within your mind, remember the one. Waheguru Ji, thank you for blessing us, bringing us to Gurdwara to learn, to do satsangat. Keep blessing us with naam, with satsangat, with seva. May we never forget you. Sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jaye. Nanak naam chaddi kala, tere paane sarvat da phala. Bhulan chuka nikima. Thank you very much, everyone who attended today. One more thing I forgot to mention. Please make time. I recommend the Golden Temple exhibit. Is in our city called Experium, they call it. It's near Bramley City Center. And it's a really pretty amazing experience. They have about 25 or 30 projectors set up to make you feel like you're standing in the Parikrama at Harmandir Sahib. And I'll tell you, the driving force behind this was a Hindu gentleman, if you can believe that. Right? Why don't people in our community do things like this that are productive and constructive instead of just fighting? So maybe you guys will do a better job, because I gave up on the previous generation. Do good things like this. Non-Sikhs come there, Sikhs come there. They learn something about Sikhi. They have exhibits for you to learn about all the gurus, the Panch Kakar, Panch Pyare. Very educational. It takes about 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. And like I said, the main part of it, they have in half an hour, you can experience the entire routine of Harmandir Sahib from Prakash in the morning until Sukhasan at night, if you stay half an hour in that area. And they give you glimpses of what it's like to be there. So for those of you who have never visited, or maybe it's been a long time, like me, I haven't been there in 10 years, it'll really bring some fond memories back to you. And maybe if you've never gone, it might inspire you to go and see the real thing one day. Okay, so I want to mention that. It's a little bit more economical to go Monday to Thursday. The prices are much less. And there's a code that I put in the group. If you enter that and you buy your tickets online, you can save even a little bit more money. Weekdays is normally $20 for adults. If you put your Gurmat code in the promotion code field, then you'll get adult tickets for $15 and the kids tickets for $9. So it's a pretty good deal. I tried to get them down to $10 for everyone. They didn't agree. But you know what? If our community doesn't support something like this, I think that's kind of sad, right? Where we spend money on Punjabi concerts and movies and things like that. By the way, anyone see Endgame yet? Okay. So anyone who's going to see Avengers Endgame, right? Make sure you see the Golden Temple exhibit too. Because if you're spending $15 to see superheroes, then you should learn about our history too. Okay? Yes.
Where there's audio and you can listen to that.
Thank you for mentioning that, Sukita. While you're walking around, if you download an app, it's like getting a virtual tour. Somebody's talking to you and explaining to you everything you're looking at, which is very cool. I'm very impressed. This person, even though, like I said, he's a Hindu, he showed full respect for our community. He talked to community organizations and he said, am I doing this right? Am I being correct in what I'm writing here? So he was very careful. He's not doing it to make money. I don't even know if he's going to break even, but hopefully we can support him by at least if everyone in Brampton went, then I think he'll do okay. And you know, tell others, tell friends and family. I think not only our duty, but we benefit from by experiencing something like that. Okay, thank you very much, and I appreciate your patience. We went a little bit over, and Virji will be back here next week. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.